and we have a lovely guest here who has written a book called White Christmas Pie. Wanda Brunstetter, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's so exciting that you have written so many books and so many interesting books about the Amish. My husband actually was raised Amish, so I don't know, maybe I'm in one of your books.
You could be.
This particular book just came out in September, didn't it?
Yes, that's
And
right.
it's called White Christmas Pie. Can you tell me a little bit about this book and why is it called White Christmas Pie?
Well, my publisher asked me to write a standalone Christmas novel, and I wasn't really sure what to write about, so I looked through my files and discovered the White Christmas Pie recipe, which a young Amish woman from Tennessee had sent me some time back when I was compiling my cookbook, and I couldn't use her recipe because I'd already turned in all the
recipes.
Yeah, the whole cookbook actually was done by the time she sent it to me. So then I was looking through some more notes, and I had found an email from one of my readers who told me that her father had been raised by an Amish couple, and that his father had just taken him and handed him to this Amish couple. He was just a young boy, maybe 2 or 3, and just walked down the lane and never came back. So the Amish couple, seriously, this was a true story. So they raised him. And I thought, wow, that would make an awesome story. So of course I changed it some, quite a bit actually, and I incorporated the White Christmas Pie recipe in with this situation where this young Amish man, now he's been raised by the Amish couple, and he's on the verge of getting married, and he's having doubts because he's thinking about the past and wondering if he can get over the bitterness of the loss of his father and not knowing why he never returned.
I gotta read it. Okay, now you have written several different series, and I read The Daughters of Lancaster County, which was a fabulous book about a little boy who was kidnapped.
That's right.
And she kept me on the hook for, I think, a whole book, Wanda. When he was trying, when he knew something was different, and he was putting together the pieces, and the people in that town were putting together pieces, and it was like, I was reading it going, Wanda, when are they going to discover each other? It was so good.
Thank you.
Loved it. Now, how did that story come about?
That came about because my husband and I visited an Amish farm to get root beer. And the young Amish girl came out, and I said, do you have any cold root beer? And she said, yes, in the house. So she went to get the root beer, but she left her baby brother on the picnic table alone with me. And all I could think about was, wow.
Somebody could take this baby.
I could take this baby if I had kidnapping on my mind. There was no one in the yard. She took quite a while to come back. And when she did finally come back and take the baby, I got in the van and I said to my husband, do you know how easy that would have been if we'd had kidnapping on our mind? So, of course, the what-if factor was there.
I'm so excited. I know the background because I read that book. Okay, you also have a series called Sisters of Holmes County.
That's correct.
Now, I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I live in Holmes County, and I have not read that series. When did you write that one?
The third book in the series just came out in this summer.
Okay.
And they've been coming out about every 5 months.
Every 5 months or so. Okay, am I in that one?
You might be. You'll have to read it and find out.
Now, what is that basically about? I mean, don't give me anything away because I want to read it.
Okay, I can tell you this much. There's this family, the Brunstetter family, is being attacked, and they don't know who and they don't know why. And so each of the books takes you through the 3 sisters in the family.
Okay.
And how these attacks have affected them. And these are long-standing attacks. This goes on for over 2 years.
What kind of attack?
It starts off with simple things, you know, toilet paper in the house,
like
eggs,
kind of
you know, vandalism type of things. But it gets worse until somebody's actually...
Oh, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Okay.
But you have to tell me this. How did you come up with that idea? Because you live it here.
I do, but actually I had read about some attacks on an Amish family in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay.
And I just came up with the idea of how did this affect the family? And did they forgive the man? Did they not? You know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
From the attacks that I had read about. And so I thought, you know, this would be a really good thing to deal with in the forgiveness issue. of why the Amish are so willing to forgive.
It's true. And you know, one great thing about Wanda's books is they're very personal, and you really feel like there is an Amish family out there just like the people that you write about. And you know, my husband was raised Amish, so many times when I read them, I'll say to my in-laws, like, would this really have happened? You know, and you know, I'll discuss it with them, and we'll talk about it. Now, your books I know can be purchased right here locally. I mean, actually, that's where I bought my Daughters of Lancaster County series. Another thing you're doing that is so wonderful, and actually our next door neighbor, who is 9, she, your publicist, Angie, sent us a box of books, and the children's books were in there. And Alana immediately grabbed one of those and just started devouring it. She loves it.
That's exciting.
It's so exciting, and I think probably from a writer's angle, it's so nice to hear that kind of feedback that you know, because I know that Reny says that reading is not her favorite thing, so for her to grab something and really be into it, that's got to be rewarding to hear, I know.
Oh, it is, and my Rachel Yoder books for kids are very lively. And the young girl has a lot of problems that just seem to come her way, you know, trouble. It's called Always Trouble Somewhere is the series title.
Okay, and you can look online on Rachel's books.
RachelYoderBooks.com.
Okay, and you have crossword puzzles on there and different things that kids can do on that website that are parent approved and safe and even really probably faith-based.
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
Now, I have to say, you know what it reminds me of? And I'm going to date myself here.
What?
Ramona the Pest.
Exactly. This is an Amish version of Ramona.
I loved Ramona the Pest when I was little. I'm so excited. And Amelia Bedelia. Okay, so this is the Amish, little girl's Amish Ramona the Pest. I already like Rachel. So you have 3 of those out, right?
4 of them are out, and 2 more coming next month.
That's great. So are you always writing all the time?
Yes, almost all the time. When I'm not signing books, I'm writing.
Okay, and then do a lot of these ideas really spring forth from actual experiences you've had?
Either something I've seen myself or have heard about, or someone has shared with me, and then I change it and say, what if? What would happen here?
What are you going to write about this?
You have to wait and see. You have to wait and see.
Now, your books have led you other places just besides writing fiction, Amish-themed novels. Tell me a little bit about some of the other books that you have out.
Well, I have a devotional, which of course is Amish-themed, but it's 60 true-to-life stories. They are actual stories shared from Amish women to me, but I've fictionalized them to protect their identity. Okay. And then at the end of every story is a little recipe.
Oh, so it's almost like a devotional / cookbook. Because
it is.
In Amish country, you can't do anything without food.
No. Somebody asked me once, is that all the Amish do is cook and eat? Because I always have a lot of food incorporated in my books.
You know what? That's really why Amish women don't wear makeup, because, you know, they just get straight to the kitchen.
Exactly.
So now, is this a day-to-day one? You know, based on date?
It doesn't have to be. You can take it out of context because it's 60, so it's for 2 months.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then
the cookbook, these are 200 mouth-watering recipes from Amish country, and they are very good. I got actually over 1,000 submitted to me.
Did you really?
I had to narrow it down to 200. That was difficult.
Oh, I bet it was. And you know, you have something in here called a funny cake.
Funny cake. That was actually contributed by my Mennonite sister-in-law, and it's one of my favorite pies. It's really good.
Really good. Now, the White Christmas pie, I have to admit, the recipe is a little different. And in the back of White Christmas Pie, the actual book, is the recipe for this wonderful, wonderful pie, and you can actually find that online on AmishCountryLiving.com. Would you care if we put that on our website?
You're more than welcome to put that on.
Okay, thank you so much for being here, Wanda.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around because we're going to eat a piece of pie.